now. We are going to give everyone about a minute to join. I see people logging on, but during that time, for those of you joining us, please feel free to chat with us. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I myself am in Atlanta. Jose and Jeffrey, you want to share where you're at?
I am in Colorado, a bit south of Boulder.
Yeah, hello from Denver. It's a beautiful day here.
So I see we have a lot of participants tuning in, and we'd love to hear where you all are from as well.
We're excited, and let's see. While people are tuning in, we can talk. Natalie, can you and I talk about our backgrounds a little bit? My background is the USA Swimming background for SportsTech.
Yeah,
and Natalie, it looks like you've got the NASCAR background.
I do. We just had that race in Atlanta this past weekend. So it's a good one. Both of the Busch brothers finished first and second. So it's quite interesting watching them kind of duel it out.
Sweet. Right on. We're excited to be going as a team to the NASCAR Coke Zero Sugar 400 later in August as well.
That'll be a great. Have you been to a race before?
No, you know what? This will be my first actual live NASCAR race. I've been a racing fan for ages, but I've never actually been to a race.
Yeah, so it is quite the experience.
Really excited for it.
Awesome. Well, I think we are safe to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the second episode of SportsTech Central. This one's a super exciting one. We're going to go over all things applications, answer any questions you all may have about the program, our partnerships, all the benefits of coming through us. So I'm super excited to hear the questions. Feel free to chat throughout it because I have the two perfect guys for the job to answer all of those for you. So I'm happy to have both Jeffrey and Jose here today. I will start off by introducing Jose. He is a great one to have on this call because he actually has experience from both sides, being an entrepreneur and then being leading the accelerator. So he's founded 5 startups. He's worked as a designer at Google, and now he is the portfolio director at Boomtown Accelerators, which powers the Comcast SportsTech Accelerator. So Jose, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So this is Jeffrey Donenfeld, and he is the investment director at Comcast SportsTech. He has a huge background in advanced technologies, which will definitely help us guide this conversation and highlight those innovation areas as well. He has a lot of insight into startups, and he can answer any of your questions. Jeffrey also has worked on a number of deep field science experiments with the US government in Antarctica and loves geeking out over tech. So he is definitely the one to go to when you want to get into those nerdy topics, and we love him for it. So thank you, Jeffrey.
It's true. Thank you for the intro, Natalie. I'm glad to talk about the program and glad to hear everybody's questions and to geek out more.
Yes, we love it. So I think we should just jump right in. We have our early application deadline coming up this Thursday, July 15th. So I think we should just kick it off with, what are we looking for? What startups make a good fit?
Let's see. I can start. And this is an evolving question, and there's so many different ways to answer this question. I think one of the many topics that we can get into in terms of fit is centered around founders. We are looking for founders of companies who are dedicated to their business, dedicated to the concept, and really looking to build something truly great. We're looking for teams that have for founders that have awesome teams behind them and are really looking to build their team. And then finally, we're looking for founders who are inquisitive and open and can talk to us about the fact that they've got something amazing and they want to work with us to evolve it and to understand more and to work with our partners and ask hard questions and get to the root of the business. So awesome. There's the founder bit.
And we will.
Jose, what do you think?
Yeah, agreed. And then specifically in a concrete side, so the team is the most important part for us for sure. But then the interesting additional requirement for this program, which is what makes it so amazing, is you're working with our partners, which you see the logos up here, And so a big part of it is to also fit within their interests and the different verticals that they are looking to work in. So some of those verticals you may have seen on our site, but it includes fantasy sports and betting, esports, venue innovation, there's media and entertainment, team and coach success, and then there's athlete and player performance, and then there's fan player engagement and the business of sports, which is a bit more broader of a category.
So
you know, sorry, Jose, since you mentioned that, one concept that I keep in mind in going through our investment areas, that it was kind of a game changer for me in thinking about it. You know, we're called Comcast SportsTech, but through those 8 investment categories, it encompasses such a wide range. SportsTech is not just performance monitoring or optimization. It's not just athletic wear. It can include stuff like venue management and cool wireless technologies to connect fans in a stadium, or broadcast technologies, how to encode and stream video. That's like, oh, that's like a hardcore broadcast tech, but yeah, that really relates to sports tech in a real way.
Yeah, I think seeing our first class come through, you saw the wide array of sports tech can really encompass. And as we're on the search for our second class, I look forward to seeing even, you know, more diversity within there. So we touched slightly on those investment areas, Jose, and I know you named them all. What advice do you all have for a team that may think that they do or do not fit into one? You know, are we just specifically looking for that? Can those shift?
Yeah, I can jump on that one. I think those categories are guiding principles, and I think the main thing actually comes down to how good of a partnership, a mutual partnership there is between one of our partners like NBC Sports or USA Ski and Snowboard, and how your company is fitting inside their needs to take their sport and their group to the next level. And sometimes that might be more on the periphery, like it might be more media centric on maybe media ad tech type technology, right? And it's like, oh, it's not quite sports, but it's perfectly what they're looking for. And the goal is really to transform these both the startups by having the opportunity to work with these world-class partners, but also our partners that are looking to take their groups to the next level. And so I'd say if you're not sure, let's at least have a conversation. I encourage you to apply. I encourage you to put your name put your name in the hat. Because you'd be surprised the types of companies that make it to a very late stage in our selection process that maybe didn't think they would get fit, but our partners are like, actually, we've been looking for this for a long time. This is exactly what we wanted.
And I think an interesting point as well is we have companies come in thinking that they might work with a specific partner based on the technology they put forth. And we found that there are pain points in some of our partners that we didn't recognize that this technology can actually fix. So they end up, you know, kind of gearing towards a partner that they originally didn't think they had that relationship with. I know we had like a golf channel and NASCAR switch and stuff like that. So I always think it's interesting to explore those opportunities. So let's definitely talk partners. So we have NBC Sports, NASCAR, Golf Channel, US Ski and Snowboard, USA Swimming, Sky Sports, USA Cycling, and Spectacor. Jeffrey, do you want to kind of talk about what those partners and how those partners engage within the program?
Sure. Yeah, our partners are awesome. It has been illuminating and stimulating to be able to work with them over the past bit here, and they've really come through and done some great things with us. Our partners are available and working with us on a whole bunch of different levels. On the program side, they are working with us and working with you as a startup in our program, as mentors and advisors and industry experts. You know, talk to NBC Sports about how they're doing sports broadcasting. Talk to NASCAR about how they're thinking about relaying telemetry from race cars going around the track at 100 miles an hour. Talk to them about how they're doing these things and what they're thinking about next. Kind of on a more partnership level, They are talking to our startups about potential proof of concepts, pilot studies, explorations of how to integrate technology into their businesses and other businesses, for fundraising, for all sorts of different things. And they're just great champions of the startups in the program, and helping them with whatever kind of industry connections they can have, and helping them along.
Awesome. And Jose, do you want to dive a little deeper into the actual access that companies that come through our program get with these partners?
Yeah, that too. I like to. It's blown us away just how not just exceeding our expectations, and even the startups' expectations. So I can go into this for a long time, but you're working with the VP and executive teams at these groups, from NBC Sports to NASCAR, et cetera, the decision makers, and also those who can who know what their group needs, both in the short and long term best. And sometimes they're adjusting their strategies around technology from one of the cohort companies. And what we found is it's not just, hey, let's have a meeting once a week and touch base and kind of pay lip service to chatting together, be a mentor. Like they're wanting to see you succeed. They're wanting to figure out how to make something happen between your team, your company, and the partner. Otherwise, they wouldn't have picked you, right? Like we're accepting 10 companies, and you count how many partners we have up there. It's about one company. Like each partner has about one vote of like a favorite, right? That they can pick to work with them. The reality is most startups that come through have 2 or 3 partners that said they're interested in them, but really they have one like executive type vote for who they're going to pick and work with. And so if they didn't want to work with you, you wouldn't be in the program in the first place. So the great thing is, from one side, it makes it really hard to get in, right? Less than 1% of acceptance rate from around the world. On the other side, if you get in, there's no question that we want to try and figure out how to work with you and see if we can make something happen. And so you're working hand in hand with the executives, and if you're meeting with them, they're like, oh, there's a technical integration issue. Okay, let's bring in the VP of engineering or the VP of, whatever department is you're needing. And like they're opening up their resources and their organization to make it happen, to make it work with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's great to see the continued support from the partners as well, even after the companies graduate from the program. So I've respected that from our partners, that it's not just a, great meeting you, great to see you. This relationship continues to grow, and some awesome things are coming out of it. So let's talk about just the application in itself. So I know I'm seeing in the chat, there's a lot of founders from all over. So I think it's exciting to note that we are definitely accepting outside of the US, and we're global. So, we had people in Costa Rica and Switzerland, and it's really just a melting pot of founders that you put forth. We have females, males. It's exciting that everyone can bounce ideas off of each other with different viewpoints from that. What are some tips, Jeffrey, that you have for going through the application process?
That's a good question. I think the most important tip for the application process is get it done and get it submitted to us. Somebody asked, and I will click the answer live button there. You can ask questions in the Q&A. Is it required to submit an application by the early deadline on July 15th, or is it okay to apply by August 15th? We look at applications as they come in and do calls and interviews and move things along as they come in. So, the earlier the better for submitting applications, and we're always happy to see your application whenever you can get it in. I'd say that instead of laboring for the entire summer to craft the perfect application and wait till the deadline to get the perfect application in, get a pretty good application that you feel fairly represents you. And that's enough for us to just get on a call. I would, really favor looking at a basically complete application and getting on a call with you and really connecting more personally. That said, information about your team and your co-founders and how you guys are working on it is important. Information on your competitive differentiator and why you're unique and you're not just doing the same thing everybody else is doing is really important. Having a succinct and clear one-liner or value proposition statement is important. And then also having a succinct and clear intro video is important. And I really mean that can be you holding up your phone and doing a selfie video and talking to the camera for a minute, and not spending too much time or money on doing a slickly produced intro. We really just want to talk to you and hear about your concept.
Awesome. So how many companies are accepted? And I know, Jose, you lightly touched on 1% of applications are accepted, but can you kind of talk about our sweet spot of selecting companies and
Yeah, and actually that question is an interesting transition from what Jeffrey's statement was, which is, as you can tell from how he speaks, it's all about people. It's all about relationships. We started in the beginning of this session saying it's all about the team. For us, it's very relational. It's all about getting to know you as founders and supporting you as entrepreneurs. And to that end, we've been very deliberate about choosing cohorts that, in the previous cohort was 10 companies, and that's what, plus or minus one, perhaps we might adjust that, but that is the target we're going for, not because there aren't more amazing companies out there, but because we want to give the most value to the companies that join and really get to know you as founders and have the founders know each other really well. And we found that, this is our second cohort, but we've had over 17 cohorts of accelerators we've run in the past. And you're part of a community of over 170 alumni companies. And for us, it's all about the people. And those relationships are really important. It's why we don't have 50 companies going through at the same time. So a long-winded way of saying, answering Natalie's question of, we're going for about 10 companies for this next program.
Yeah, and I obviously have been a part of a few of our accelerators, and it's always exciting to see those founders get so close because there is such a limited amount of them in that dedicated time. So it's nice to kind of watch everyone become a family and really bounce ideas off of each other and all of that, as we discussed. So that's always my favorite part, the meeting the founders and seeing kind of who you get to spend these three months with. So, so what process do the applications go through after being submitted?
We look at them and scrutinize them very carefully. So after the applications are submitted, Jose and I literally get a ping in our inboxes, and we personally go check them out. We watch your videos, we read the application, we click your links, and check the whole thing out. It's not some automated application, tracking system. It comes right to us. If we want to move forward and we're interested, we will reach out to you and get you on an initial 30-minute chat. It's just a phone conversation, just to say hi, meet and greet, hear the quick version of what you're up to. I like to hear it directly from the founders in addition to reading the applications. In lieu of looking at a pitch deck or some presentation, I like to just have a personal conversation. After that, if we want to move forward, we'll move to subsequent rounds of interviews with more and more of the team, both our internal team at Boomtown Accelerators, as well as the Comcast SportsTech internal team and partner teams that'll move to video presentations and decks. And then eventually we will be able to make a final decision on inviting you. We'll ask for probably lots of clarifications and more information via email, and have weird and random questions to ask you and everything. But that's kind of the process from an application. I'll just take a second to answer a question. Ankit asked a question in the Q&A about thoughts on our companies that are not directly in the verticals we mentioned, like outdoor recreation. We're all for it. Hit us with your idea. We'd love to hear the idea. There's two ways to think about that. First of all, those 8 investment categories are flexible. And I think if you can think of a way that our partners would want to engage with you, where we would want to engage, and where there's a connection, there's a trade of value in exchange, then it certainly could be relevant. And then the other thing is, we've been running accelerators for a while, and we have a long deal flow pipeline. And in lots of cases, we'll find great companies that might not fit with what we're after right now, or might not be in the right stage or the perfect fit now, but maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe 3 years down the road, you'll be a fit. And we will look forward to remaining in contact and finding the perfect time to engage.
Awesome. And so, Jose, what level is the partner involved? Are they involved in the actual selection process? I know that was asked, as well as Comcast.
Yeah, great question. Once we do usually 1 to 2 rounds of interviews with a company that comes through, we'll then select the top X% of companies and sort them by which partners each company think they're interested in meeting with. We present the companies to our partners, and they're reviewing your applications too, and they tell us which ones they also agree there could be a fit. And even some of the companies that maybe didn't think that, for example, NBC Sports was a good fit, but NBC Sports reads your application and says, "Oh, yeah, we want to talk to these guys too." So we do that, and then we kind of fit in some gaps too, where we know what our partners want, and kind of where the startups are heading. And we set up all these matchmaking kind of sessions, and from there we'll do next round, usually second or third round interviews with the partners themselves. So you have the executive teams and the innovation teams, innovation leads at each of these partners interviewing your company. And you start having discussions around what could a pilot look like? What could integration look like? Are you solving a problem they need now, or something kind of in the future? How close are you to actually being able to solve it, or is it kind of theoretical? And you start kind of fleshing out what your relationship will look like during the program. Again, with the goal of it not being just paying lip service to getting some good face time with one of these partners, but actually doing deals together and actually getting business done.
Awesome. So someone wanted to know, how long is the selection process, and when will the startups know if they've been accepted? So I know we talk about multiple rounds. So how long are those going?
Selection process. Go for it, man.
Well, it kind of goes with what I was just talking. Otherwise, so usually what happens after those sessions is our partners vote to see where there's a fit, and how both. Because of the balance, it has to be a good company, but it also has to solve a problem and be a fit for their goals. So there'll be votes. If there are questions, we'll sometimes do second round interviews with the partners, which might be a 4th round interview for you. And to kind of go more into the nitty gritty of kind of questions and get to a yes or no decision. And so that timeline is probably going to be around mid-October to late October. There can be some shifting around depending on the availability of our partners for scheduling, but our job, Jeffrey and I's job, is to be as transparent as possible with you, to know where you stand and what are going to be next steps for you to find out. And so there are teams that are going to find out right away around mid-October, late October time, and then there are times that we might tell a team, look, based on the following reasons, you may not get a response until maybe late November or early December, because they're checking if how big of a priority this actually is for them, or whatever questions they might have internally. And that is, again, to be respectful of you as a company and making sure that we're adding value to you. But we're going to try and be as transparent as possible in that process. Awesome.
And are teams notified if they are not selected, and are they given any feedback as to why?
Yep. We do aim to notify as soon as there's a clear decision either way. And if you're not selected, and we've talked before and everything, always happy to give you feedback and help talk to you about what we liked and what we didn't, and the fit, and hopefully lead to a stronger, better application in the future, or just another opportunity to connect.
Awesome. And then if someone submits their application early, can they make edits to it up until the August 15th deadline? or how should they make sure they stay relevant if things happen within their company?
I don't think that F6S allows you to edit the actual application. That we use f6s.com to manage the application process. However, if you have updates or edits you'd like to make, just email us and let us know. Hey, we have this revenue. We just got a great sale, and we have awesome things to report, or whatever edit you want to make. We'd much rather just connect with you directly.
Awesome. Ankit wants to ask, what is the minimum criteria you're looking for during selection? So revenue, traction, etc., items like that. Jose, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'm glad to. It's a great question. The minimum criteria for us is, as we talked about, a strong team that has the pieces in place to execute on the vision you're setting forth. So that's different per team. Some teams, it might require hardware engineers. Others, it might require somebody who's got B2B SaaS sales experience. Whatever it is, we want you to make the case that you've got the right team. Beyond that, traction, revenues, etc., are nice to have in that they show your ability to execute, but the actual requirement for us is product readiness, so that if one of our partners, let's say Golf, wants to do a pilot with you, you can start setting something up within weeks, maybe a month or so, and start executing on it, as opposed to years down the line. So it isn't so much about how much traction you have on the business side, but that the product is at a stage that if you want to do something together, you can execute within a reasonable period of time on a pilot, on a commercial deal, etc. Otherwise, what happens is we may say, okay, if it's going to be 6 months before you can do a pilot anyways, let's wait until next year where you're going to be more mature for the next cohort.
Awesome. So let's talk equity investment. This question's come in quite a few times. So is there an investment into companies that are selected? If so, what is the investment amount and what are the terms of the investment?
So the terms of the investment or the terms of our agreement, we take up to 12% common stock equity. We only take common stock. We specifically don't take a preferred form of stock, preferred class of stock. We don't sit on the board. We don't have a liquidation preference, and we really set up the deal to make ourselves your true partners in your success, and really incentivize us to support you in whatever way possible to help you build a truly valuable business, a truly successful business. We really want to make real great businesses here, and not just be sprinkling around in investments and help and see what happens alone. In exchange for that, we let you go through the entire program, customized curriculum, classes, workshops, lectures. We give you a very small amount of cash, as spending cash for marketing budget, living expenses, whatever you want to spend it on. We give you a whole host of perks, technical marketing perks. I think it's up to like $1.7 million if you cashed it all in. There are introductions to our partners, mentor networks, investors, alumni network. Really whatever we can do to help you move along and build a valuable business. And so, yes, we take equity. We give you a little bit of money, but there's so much more that we give you that's really the valuable part in exchange for the equity.
Yeah, there's definitely an abundance of benefits, obviously, that come.
So many.
That.
We really think about the stage of the company and what you're looking for, and what you really need next, and we'll only really bring you into the program if we feel like we can actually make an impact and really help you, and our partners are really truly interested in working with you, and we can move things forward, not just, oh, they want to join us and we can get a little equity from them, let's bring them in, but like, can we actually help? Is there something, is it worth us all spending time and equity on?
Awesome. So David asked, does Comcast invest equity position, and is there a cost to attendees?
So similar to, I guess, Jeffrey's question, on your cap table, I believe it's Comcast SportsTech. So yes, you have someone like Comcast on your cap table who will have a vested interest in your success. And no, there's no cost to join besides the equity you give up. There's no monetary cost, and your time. There's no monetary cost, and what that means is we don't get a single financial return. Business succeed unless you get acquired, go public, have an liquidation event. We don't get anything back for our time and effort and support of you as a company, which puts us in the same boat. It aligns our interests to support you not just during the 12 weeks of the program, but indefinitely. I still have calls with companies we've invested in from 7-8 years ago. I'll have calls with them once every 2 weeks or so, because again, we want to see them succeed. And honestly, we become family, we become friends, and we want to see how you're doing. So.
It really is the best, staying in touch with our alumni network and hearing about the updates and all the cool things they're up to. It's awesome.
Yeah, so we had a question asked about some of the companies that had come through the first cohort. So I'm actually going to drop our startup showcase page into the chat so everyone can see those 10 startups that came through our first class. But Jeffrey and Jose, do you all want to maybe pick a company and explain it to kind of show the variety of what comes through the program?
Sure, I'll throw one up there. I have a stick of it in my desk here. One of the cool, super cool companies that I love talking about is Safety Skin. So they make a reflective skin spread that is like a tiny little deodorant stick, and is a reflective spread. So if you're going out running at night or at dusk, you can put it on your skin and have a reflective stripe on your skin to make yourself more visible. That's actually moving with your body, and maybe on an extremity that's moving more than the core of your body, to increase your visibility. There are so many different ways that Johnny has conceptualized taking the company, and we were just so interested to see what our partners were coming up with to use Safety Skin and all of the other opportunities that they have, both for sports, for industrial safety, for creative uses, all sorts of cool things.
Sure. Now, and I'll put the link in there if you guys want to check it out. What was interesting with them, and what was interesting also with this following company, XIQ, is how they started. They started with with one partner, and it grew, and that changed. And Natalie, I don't know if you're going to guide a conversation down that direction later, but stop me if you are. But XIQ came in and they put basically they retrofit existing golf carts as a start. To be able to have keypad access and to prevent anyone from stealing them, because apparently most golf carts use the same key, so you can just go across, take every golf cart if you want. I don't know, that seems impractical, but there's not real much security there. So they, golf was an obvious starting choice for them because they have golf carts. And as we started speaking to the partners, even before the program started, NASCAR pointed out that they've got a large number they have fleets of golf vehicles. And then all other partners kind of brought that up too. And so all of a sudden, their opportunities grew beyond just golf into others to be able to retrofit their fleets. And then beyond that, it started expanding into, their technology works great for the construction industry and trucks and bulldozers and all that, because similarly, you could have the same keys for all those devices. So that was a really cool example of that. And similarly with Safety Skin, it started off with USA Cycling, because that's a big part of their customer base. And then it expanded into Comcast, the mother company of Comcast saying, wait, our employees, they're out there in the streets, fixing cable lines and everything, and they're in danger, especially at dusk. Can we use this to improve their safety? And so it expanded into huge possibilities for them, and then they're continuing to talk to new partners where we're announcing new kind of pilot opportunities almost every week these days, where just new stuff's popping up all the time.
Yeah, and I know we touched on that shift, and that's why we always want to encourage everyone to apply. You might have an idea in your head as to where you fit or what partner you fit with, but you really learn the magnitude of opportunities there are out there, and can identify problems that some of our partners didn't even realize they had, such as NASCAR and all of their golf carts being used and everything along those lines. So along the lines of what comes out of our program and past companies, someone had asked about the success of them. So we actually, out of the 10 companies participating in the program, 16 earned pilots or partnerships after. So I think that's speaks volumes about the continued relationship with the partners and kind of how, we genuinely accelerate these companies and they're out there kicking butt and being awesome. So it's exciting to see. So Ankit has another question. So what does the day-to-day look like during the accelerator? So Jeffrey, would you like to take this?
Sure. It's mostly bouncy castles. No. The day-to-day in the accelerator is intense, and it changes throughout the program. At the beginning of the program, we will work with you to really understand your customers, tear apart your business model, question every assumption that you have, and really think about what you're doing as a business. Into the middle of the program, we'll work on developing marketing, developing product market fit, developing technology, connecting you with the right people in the industry, connecting you with our partners. Closer to the end, we'll be working with you on next steps with pitching, with fundraising, with figuring out exactly what you're going to do after the program and setting you up with the resources to do that. The most recent SportsTech program that we ran was held all virtually on account of the pandemic, right? And traditionally we've done in-person accelerators. So the shift to virtual was a thing that we did to stay safe during the pandemic. That said, I think everybody was very impressed with how it went, and we spent long days on Zoom and on Sophia in our little virtual worlds, getting together and having lots of meetings, talking to both cohort members, internal team members, partner members, doing webinars and conferences and classes and lectures. Coming up, for the program, the day-to-day is going to look, right now it's going to be held in a hybrid model. So in-person sessions in Atlanta, beginning, middle, and end, and then filled in with virtual sessions. And I think we're always excited to see people in person and get to hang out in the office and everything. But we also realize that doing the virtual thing makes it less friction to connect across time zones, to connect with people all over the country and the world, and to make those fruitful meetings happen.
So Jose, why don't you take this one? And it kind of piggybacks on what the program will look like. Do all members of the founding team need to be in person at the accelerator location? And how much room is there? How many founders can you bring, et cetera?
Right, yeah. It kind of follows up with what Jeffrey was saying with this hybrid program on the next one. So in the past, we've required at least 2 people to be full-time in person. With the hybrid model, you'll have the choice to be, I believe, as in person as you want. So there'll be those in-person sessions, but you have the option to be more in person if you'd like. But I think it might have already been answered, but it's hybrid, right? So the requirements will probably still be 1 or 2 people who would come in person. But as far as assuming it's fully in person, normally we don't have an upper limit as to how many people you can bring in. In the past, it's been around 10 or 12 for one team, and that's been totally fine. It's a huge space with that's really quite overlooks Battery Park, so you can watch baseball games while you're building your company. And at a minimum, we usually want 2 of the executive team on board. Largely, it's because you need to you have to spread responsibilities among multiple people. We have over 500 mentors and a large support community for you, and it's just really difficult to build a company solo when you're trying to fundraise while build your company, while meeting with mentors, while trying to execute on pilots. So it's not that you can't be successful individually as a solo founder. And there's often a question that's brought up too, but rather to be successful in our programs, we found that it's very difficult to do things by yourself. And it's okay if you're the only founder, but you have many employees supporting you. That's actually totally fine for us. But the big part is that you've got a support team. Yeah, it's not just you building this company, you have a team behind you.
Yeah, again, the importance of that team is so crucial to us, because we truly believe in our founders and they're the core of our program and why we do everything. So I like that we keep driving that point home. So keep coming the questions in as we start wrapping up. But I have another one from Steven. So it says, what are the things that founders are surprised you're able to help with that they didn't think that would be valuable when they originally applied? Jose, I see you shaking your head.
Jeffrey might know some examples.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if I didn't have a specific example in mind, but kind of more of a general feeling. I'm always impressed and surprised in talking to, in getting our startups on the phone with, or in meetings with our partners, and just hearing about the world of the founders and the world of the partners, and understanding how they both think differently sometimes and how they come together in changing courses or thinking about problems differently. And there have been some startups in the last cohort that they came in, they're like, okay, this is our technology, this is our solution, this is how we have to do it. And the partners were like, how about if you did it this way? And they're like, oh, okay, all right, let's try that. And it's really an amazing thing to see.
Jose, did you want to share an example?
Yeah, we've got some really cool stories of just how we supported our companies. I mean, as we mentioned, we've got over 170 companies that are part of the Boomtown and SportsTech family that they just love supporting each other. And one of the things we've some cool examples. I mean, we've got over 20 people on our team that are supporting entrepreneurs during the program too. CFO with experience managing multi-billion-dollar funds, and legal expertise with SEC experience, and experts in product management and film production and everything. So you pretty much have everyone you need within reach for help. Plus, as I mentioned, over 500 mentors. And so in the recent past, we've helped one company. Jeffrey and I think spent like 5 hours trying to figure out who owned the URL for the company that they were trying to get, and we like hunted down the owner and tried to broker a deal with them, and that was pretty fun. There's one company that was getting looked at by the SEC with potential with scrutiny, and our legal team was able to guide them and coach them through that whole process, and they were able to get off with a letter of commendation or whatever from the SEC to move forward. And that would have otherwise killed their business. And we've had teams that couldn't figure out how to finance, the next 6 months of their business because they were growing at paces that the business model wasn't working. And so our CFO stepped in and just walked them through how to rethink of different funding sources and how to price their product and everything, which allowed them to turn around what was otherwise going to crush their success, going to crush that company into thriving and growing long term. And so those are just a couple that come to mind, but that's one of the most fun things. There's so much of this program is customized because every company is a different chess match, and the exciting part is being able to work with you and identify those challenges and help you overcome them, knowing that on your own you probably wouldn't have been able to do it or do it within a reasonable period of time. So we love helping our companies.
Awesome. So we have another question. Have you had any companies in the program that have gone through previous accelerators?
Yeah. It's in general, yes. Specifically with SportsTech, yes. Also because of the state of companies that we're looking at. Again, the product readiness. It means that you can have raised $2 million before, or have raised nothing, and it doesn't actually determine whether or not you're at the right product ready stage, right? So I think in the last program, maybe half of them had gone through other accelerators, and it's not seen as a positive or a negative. It's just one more data point in the journey, and so we'd like to understand, why they're wanting to join this program, and what they were able to accomplish in the past. And we have no problems if they want to join another accelerator in the future also. Or if you're currently graduating from one and want to apply now, that's totally fine too. It's because of the unique nature of this program where it's about doing these deals with our partners. It's just one more data point in identifying the strength of your team.
Yeah, so Aman asked, and I love this question, we harp so much on the value of our partners, but what is one thing that differentiates this program from others besides its unique partners?
I think it's us. I think it's me, Jose, and Natalie, and the rest of our team. And I think the fact that we really try to be your true partners in success and hold hands a lot, and really, take the time to personally work with you and do whatever we can to help the business be truly successful. Like we started with the call, it's all about personalities and relationships, and we really take that to heart.
Yeah, and I think the positives about the SportsTech team is that everyone has their strengths. Everyone has such a diverse background and knowledge, and we really play to those and make sure that everyone's available to you for what you need within your company, which I love. And
I'd also add, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jose.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Well, I'd also add a big part of this, which I've seen be a big differentiator, is we don't just put a bunch of logos up there to seem like we're really cool and we've got a lot of really big names, right? There's a huge list of other partners that we're working with that their logos aren't up here, because in order to be on this list of partners, it is a unique short list of partners that have said we want to work with innovative companies and we want to do deals. We've got other companies other groups that haven't quite gotten to that level of commitment. And so we don't tout them out there, but there's some really cool names out there that we're working with that are still there to support you and work with you and talk through stuff. So the big thing that's unique for us is we're here, we get down to business. Like when you've got a great team, you're solving a really important problem that you're passionate about. We want to make sure that you've got the partnerships and the deals to take your company to the next level. We get so excited when you're able to, instead of foregoing, you can forego a round of funding because instead of having to raise money to survive long enough to get that next deal, it's like you got that deal, you're growing fast, and you're able to raise in the future or not raise at all because you're growing off of your revenues and your momentum. That's what's unique here, that we're trying to get deals done. It's not just cool. You get a 130-minute meeting once in the whole cohort with the CEO of whatever group, right? Like we're trying to get stuff done here, and I think that's unique amongst other groups and organizations.
Awesome. So I think Jeffrey is going to take the last two questions in the Q&A, and then we can wrap up.
Thank you, Rafael. Thank you for asking these questions. These are the two very, very specific and techie questions that were asked here, and the things that I love talking to founders about. I really appreciate that you're thinking specifically about this. We're always thinking about technologies for broadcast efficiency and security and managing the network, both Comcast, Xfinity, NBC, Sky Sports, all the broadcast partners, all the network partners and everything. So it's really